and then get to the end. So
yeah,
we're right back in. No jinxing. No caster cursing.
Well, they can still pick Jinx, actually, because it hasn't been picked yet.
That's true.
But Malphite is going to be banned here. I'd see very similar bans. Very meta stuff that they get banned in game number 1. Wouldn't expect too much of a difference. Maybe the Varus gets left open this time.
The interesting thing about... Okay, well, the Yunara is banned. I was going to say the interesting thing about how this draft could differ is that the Yunara could end up being the powerhouse AD carry this time around, but we'll just have that banned again. And Varus taken away. So there's a lot of prio picks here. The Orion and the Azir are gone. The Lucian's gone, of course. Aurora first pick. Very flexible, but less relevant in the top lane with no Rumble to speak of. Surprised by this one, to be honest. It's a pretty unusual priority. The Nico also still was available. We have not seen that one as heavily prioritized here in LCK Cup as it has been for all of 2025, or was.
Yeah, I mean, Carry is insane at the pick.
Aphelios.
Maybe they just go ahead and pick the bottom lane. They're going to pick the Aphelios for now.
If he's insane at Nico, he's also insane at Thresh. And they'll need to pick it right here, but it certainly could be a very strong combo. The classics here of Aphelios. Pays and Guma both really proficient at the champ. His owner, Xinjiao, was the champ that you had in your mind when you were watching him play throughout 2025, and I'll lock that one in here again. Wukong does have a reasonable, it is reasonable to pick him here, decent into the Xinjiao. Not as powerful early, but incredibly powerful at getting on top of that Aphelios, especially when you have an Aurora there as well. You make too many threats, and that Thresh isn't going to save you.
And it looks like they're trying to stack the threats on top. It worked in game 1. And Rakan, I mean, going with the Wukong, we always talk about this duo, is insane. So if you're looking for backline access, a.k.a. an Aphelios, who is not the most mobile, you pick something like this. Now, they need an answer to it. They need some kind of front line, or maybe that Thresh you were talking about. Something to get Aphelios to safety.
I think if they go for Thresh, they probably want something else that wants to kind of walk that fine line so they can get double power out of it. I think it's probably going to be banned if it isn't picked here. They go for the Lulu instead, which empowers the Xinjiao. We've seen this so often, this combo. Usually with Zeri instead of the Aphelios, as he hasn't really been in favor for a long time, but with the changes to crit, he is incredibly powerful right now. Even though he was hotfix of some of his lethality, that wasn't really the main part of why he was back in the meta, although it did make a very funny win rate for a little while. Let's see what
very
happens.
Funny high number.
Yeah,
yes.
Very, very high 50s. Let's see what gets banned here now, because the identities are once again clear. You know, the scaling Aphelios, and then the team that tries to kill the Aphelios. And Yone, pretty good at getting on top of and killing the Aphelios. Zeka's very good at that champion. Zeus also very good at that champion.
And they have AP in the top lane already, or at least in a lane, because I suppose Zeus could play it as well.
When you have Zeus and Zeka and you have a Flex Aurora, it's like, you know what? Just get rid of that. That's probably a safe call.
Just ban it. Galio going to be denied. And you think about Galio with the Xinjiao, definitely a good combo. It's something that Faker has played many a time. It's fantastic for keeping Pays alive on the Aphelios as well. So that's insta-banned.
See what comes next here, as a lot of dive picks have been taken away. I mean, it's really up to whether you want to deal with, because it's so difficult in this position. You're like, do we ban for Zeka's champion pool, or do you ban for Zeus here? They ultimately end up going with the Gwen ban, which might indicate that we're going to see a tank top. So the Scion gets banned in response here. I think this is a safe call on both sides. Ornn, reasonable, but hasn't really been that strong this patch.
You can still just play Cassante as well.
Yeah, that's
would
fair.
Be kind of the next tank on the line. Can pull a member away from the Aphelios potentially.
The Rek'Sai is available for Zeus, and there are other picks that he is really well known for. Like, he could play into the Cassante, for example, the Jax, that new Dusk and Dawn build that is very popular right now. Again, assuming that the Aurora is going mid, but with the Cassante now, I think it becomes more likely. Oh, another one, by the way. Yeah, I forgot about this one. He likes to do this one a lot, the Cassante in the top lane. This is incredibly popular right now. A lot of people are spamming this in solo queue.
Honestly,
you know what? Another one he's really likes into Cassante, as it turns out. He's got a few of these. This is why blinding Cassante into Zeus is usually something teams don't do.
Saw that Neela come out as well. It's not necessarily your classic AD carry, but could offer even more lockdown to that backline.
If the Gnar is set and they go Neela, all 5 champions are primed to kill that Aphelios. And Pei's got caught enough already. Now, surprised to see Guma pull out the Ziggs here. And it's not a pick he was known for in a very Ziggs-centric meta. But it is going to be great follow-up to all that CC.
Yeah. You know, Guma, hopefully, given the time, I would love to see another crack at the Ziggs because, as you mentioned, I think this is a great spot for it. A very common pick into the Aphelios. Now we're looking at Faker's pick.
I mean, when I saw the Gnar, I think part of why they didn't lock the Gnar, I was like, no way Faker just plays Silas here. It's another front line. They've got triple for it. They've got decent ultimates to steal. I mean, really, a lot of great ultimates to steal that'll scale well with the AP that Faker's going to be building. And picking the Gnar into this Cassante means that you're going to have a fantastic lane. You're going to have pressure up there on the top side, which means you can put your efforts on focusing on the bottom side where Ziggs will also already outrange the Aphelios. You get to level 6 with the Wukong. You get through that tougher part of the early game. You feel really good about this draft. But Silas is going to be stealing that Gnar ultimate. He's going to be looking for an insane amount of frontline without it, and then can use it into an additional engage tool to set up Pays. He is another wild growth target to get on top of the backline or just help peel in the front line for this Aphelios carry. Man, these are some banger drafts. Like, both drafts are incredibly strong. I like how Hanwha Esports set this one up for their early control. Get Kanavi to 6, but the Silas was kind of a masterclass. And the final moments there for T1. And I hope we get another close one here. I hope we get to see Elder again.
Might just happen. Definitely like this draft here from the side of HLE. With Zeus back on his Gnar, his debut champ. And Doran on the Cassante over here. Going to be a very fun matchup in that top lane as we have the game loaded up. HLE versus T1, game 2. All right, game number 2, and just hoping for a game number 3 at this point because game number 1 was certainly a banger. I mean, there wasn't a heaping helping of action all the time, but it was definitely very tense and very back and forth and could have gone either way.
Wasn't it LCK Cup last year where we had to pull out the Vayne cosplay?
Was it that early?
I don't know. It was definitely a big game. It may have been LCK Cup finals or playoffs. And I could already feel when that was being hovered, like the space over there, like Digon and Wooded looking at each other like, oh, no.
You know, I think you're right because it was at Lol Park, but I think it was also the best of 5 finals where it happened because it was such a big deal.
It was Keen who played it, right? Like, and kind of whiffed it and lost to Zeus. Like, Zeus owned him.
Against the Aatrox.
Exactly. That's what I remember. Sometimes I write my own memories, but I think this one is true. Anyway, maybe we see it in game 3 and he gets to cosplay again anyways. Remember his Ari cosplay? What else has he got?
Gnar. Would love to see a Gnar cosplay. I think it would fit him very well. I think Wadid's got the personality for it.
Yeah. He's not quite as noisy as Gnar.
Well.
I mean, is anyone as noisy as Gnar?
Lysandra. You guys were talking about this yesterday.
Yeah.
With the Karma as well. No Karma just yet.
I mean, the thing about Karma is I'd be okay with it if I could just understand what she was talking about.
Yeah.
I really just have no idea.
One time I did look up the voice lines and their meanings.
What do you mean you looked up them? It's a fake language, Valdez.
No, it's a thing. No, I'm pretty sure they had translations. Or at least...
No, I'm sorry. I mean, they probably do.
At least I saw what she was saying, and I'm like, oh, okay, that makes sense.
Okay.
Because it's easy to mishear some of those voice lines. No big surprise here. The Lulu winning in the lane against the Rakan.
Well, you know, the Ziggs can kind of handle his own here and chip away at the FLOs, outranges them, so you can see, like, there's a health advantage for the Ziggs, there's a health advantage for the Lulu, and as you say, like, Lulu's winning, but the Ziggs is fine here. Does have teleport, of course, and this is a fairly stable lane. It's not like there's kill pressure for the FLOs, shouldn't be. This is a lane that's won by the Gnar, and so this Wukong is just kind of chilling, power farming to 6. We'll grab an extra ward there, Scries, and is just going to head over and keep clearing.
Owner's just going to wait for him, actually. If we get the knock-up into the satchel used aggressively, this time makes sense. Owner's like, oh, hello. So they're going to have a little bit of a skirmish here, a one-on-one. Which mid laner gets here first? Looks like they're here at the exact same time. And going to respect the Xin Zhao, it looks like, or maybe not quite enough, as the chain's not going to predict, as the flash comes late, and now Owner has to flash away, double flash in, as Kanavi desperate to kill that Xin Zhao, but he just cannot, and Delight follows, double kill given over to Faker at 3 minutes into the game.
Triumph proc there, Owner's got too much health, and my money is always on the Sylas in the skirmish like that. He has Kingslayer, he is so difficult to deal with, he's so much health. And even if the chains don't connect, which was a bit of a disaster there, but I mean, it was Faker trying to be a little bit 3D chess, you know, 400 IQ play. Does not work out, but you're still dealing with a Sylas in a scrappy fight here, and it ends up extending, right? The Conqueror is procced. Faker here, not quite able to hit the chains onto Zeka. Zeka survives as a result, but can't really offer damage back, and then Xin Zhao actually flashes away, doesn't get knocked up. And then the first kill comes through, he goes back in, Conqueror procs, and they end up getting a double for Faker here in the early game.
Yeah, I mean, best case scenario, even, like, maybe they get that kill on an Owner. But even then, I just feel like you're not going to win in the extended trade against Xin Zhao and Sylas, as you mentioned. Like that, especially with Zeka just chunked out before the fight even really began. Like, yes, they went deep, but it was only Owner who was low. So it felt like they were trying to just get something out of the trade by taking down Owner. Maybe instinctually just flashing in for the kill and maybe just going to go from there. But did not work out for them, and now Faker's sitting 2-0. Nearly 1,000 gold ahead already because of all of that kill gold. And that is not going to be a very fair Sylas.
He's going to take that between worlds and say, oh, you guys are hard pushing bottom lane? Yeah, there's some question mark pings. Well, just one. I think that might be enough to get the message across, but Guma's already way too far up.
Yeah, they are very much caught out here. We do have double flash available. And just waiting. Doesn't look like Paze is able to get in position. Thought maybe he would flash in and look for the root with the purple gun, but not meant to be, I suppose.
Guma already used teleport, so this is going to be a big win if they could shove him out. Delight instantly gets in position to block for him as well, so that the chains cannot connect. I thought that was really well played by Delight and Guma, all things considered. And nothing really amounts of this. I mean, nothing critical. A nice play from Faker with the lead that he has.
Yeah. We have this dragon being taken, maybe with some of that pressure that they got, and Delight being forced back, so at least able to get this early objective.
Look at Owner's experience advantage. He has level 6, the Wukong does not. He's a full level up. The team fight, the jungle camp lead he has over this Wukong that's been fighting fire with fire, but is just much less relevant in the early game. A little LPL-esque, you could say, with how he's played this one out.
Oh, Kanavi just running straight into him. I mean, yes, it's in your jungle, but again, that level difference is just too big. At least Kanavi's able to smite it away, but Owner's going pretty deep to chunk him out.
He wants
still
more.
No level 6.
Hey, he wants more out of this jungle. He's like, why still... I know that you don't have level 6 until you can get some more camps. Let's see how many of those I can take. He doesn't actually commit to the Krugs, however. Paze has red and white. And that's going to be the end of the bottom side skirmish potential for Owner. This game, very much, it's still a playable game here for Hanwha Esports, but I'm starting to get a little bit concerned about how they have played it thus far. As Faker still has a 500 gold lead from those 2 kills he picked up earlier. Sylas can snowball games incredibly well. He has so many ultimates to get value from. Zeka went Ignite to go into this 2-0 Sylas, so that's also not going to be very helpful in terms of trying to catch up. As Faker has his teleport back and can get a free back, buy an item, and then be ready to scrap again.
Yeah. It just feels like should be able to get value against the mid jungle with that Ignite, but as you're mentioning, not going to help him in this situation, trying to get back to the lane. It's kind of cool that we don't have to have teleport be the only thing that people take nowadays. In the top lane, obviously, but also even in the mid lane nowadays with a lot of ghosts being taken and Ignite in this case.
Faker doesn't even use his teleport to come back because he has plenty of time. So he can continue to hold on to that summoner for power elsewhere. Crescendum. You know, it's not Duck Dom this time, the Crescendum King, but FaZe is just going to rip this turret apart. That bomb coming out will force him to push forward until that next wave crashes. But a lot of damage has been done. On the top side of the map, Kanavi does have level 6 now. He's looking for some grub control.
And plays alongside of his friendly carry Lulu is just totally fine to push up, do a ton of damage, and be very fast when it does come to getting the speed boost from the Lulu. I talked about being excited for the top lane. Well, it's basically just been Zeus getting a little bit of a CS lead. And he is the one stripe on the team. You know, he is the Zeus stripe at the moment. That does have 600 gold in the lead. Owner continuing to try to pressure these Raptors and take them down time after time.
Yeah, if you're a Hanwha Esports fan, you're like, it's just the tip of the iceberg. It's the part you can see. Don't worry, the rest of the team will be online before you know it. You just haven't been able to see into the depths. But, I mean, this Gnar is generating the kind of pressure he needs to with this counter pick. Again, could be a detriment later on with Silas steals, but it doesn't always work out that way. Can outplay. I remember back when Stopwatch was purchasable, we would see the Stopwatch the hijack, which was kind of insane. Like, Zeus actually was one of those guys who would do that.
Yeah.
I'm glad that item was removed. I was kind of on the same page as you. It made for some fun team fights for spectators.
Trying to make a play here on a Faker. He's getting pretty low. Actually has to flash the burst at the end of that between worlds. And Kanavi was also in the vicinity, so could have seen even a follow-up from him under the turret, especially because, as we know, Owner was not anywhere nearby. He was just coming back to farm his Krugs.
Faker does stay. We'll grab this extra wave. See if he is getting close to an item break point or not. Just wanted to stick around for this one. We'll teleport back to lane if he needs to. In fact, with how that ended up crashing, you might just be able to hold it again.
Let's see, does he finish that belt?
Could time it with the TP.
I think he is with the TP, right? No? Okay.
Nope.
Did he buy anything? Maybe the boots? I don't know. I didn't really see if he bought anything.
Yeah, I don't think. I thought he had the boots already.
Well, seems like he needs some more money. He's going back again. Wolf.
Did he forget to buy? There's no way. Or like maybe he mistimed it on the TP.
He might have mistimed it, or maybe he just needed a tiny bit more gold.
Oh my God.
So he TP'd in, got one more wave, and then backed again.
I guess, yeah. That's
so
not ideal, but
I'm glad that you and I realized that we were like, huh, this timing doesn't really add up. This is weird.
Ultimately, you know, still going to be able to get back to lane fairly quickly. Is back now already. It's 2026. You know, you can go back whenever you want.
Yep.
It's your prerogative.
Owner's getting in there on a Kanavi. They want to engage on this Wukong as the root comes in onto the two bottom laners. And Kanavi, there's really nowhere for him to go, as now they got to try to turn around. But is it too little too late? Owner able to set up two, eventually does go down. But now Pace has a free highway to getting even more kills, picks up the double. We got a TP coming in. And Zeus, now he's getting stunned down. Faker thinking about taking more of a fight, but not going to overplay their hands. And now with that TP, you give Doran the free lane up here, you give him that extra time, and T1, a big move into the lead.
I'm not entirely sure about that TP from Zeus, because obviously he doesn't have his Narbar in a position to where he can impact anything there. He knows the hijack is down, but it's going to be really hard for him to actually make anything of that play. So he just gives away his TP, gives Doran a ton of agency there. And this play is about the Wild Growth Xin Zhao combo that we talked about in draft. Owner looking for Kanavi initially, but makes a turn here with this Aphelios.
Satcheled so early, by the way.
Yeah. And then look at this. Back onto Kanavi, triple knockup, and they just disappear. And now FaZe has free agency. There's no one to engage on him anymore. In live,
if they had the Satchel to prevent that from happening.
They almost, yeah, well, would have been pretty huge. They almost get the kill onto Zeka.
Yeah, Zeka, he is one of the guys still doing pretty well at this point in time, but FaZe again with shields and speed ups. There's really no threat at this point in time. Like, again, this comp can do so much when it comes to team fights and punishing the Aphelios, but in this early to mid game state where HLE are behind, it just feels like FaZe does whatever he wants.
And it feels like the opt-in to these team fights from Kanavi has really been the bane of their existence. And, you know, you took him out of the LPL, but you can't take the LPL out of him, maybe, is what we're seeing here. I'm being a bit facetious, obviously, but, you know, that last fight, the satchel usage was a problem, but you got to consider the engage range, the scrappy power of this, the rotating Sylas. And FaZe 2 kills under his belt already. And
Stormrazor.
Yeah. Now, Guma's going to wish he had his TP. He's going to back away here, and we'll see how much FaZe can get done then with this crescendo. Might be able to grab an additional plate here. Guma's going to stay and clear this, but down goes the plate. More gold in his inventory. Faker does not have his quest completed for some reason. That can't be right. Oh, it's right. His boots are not.
I mean, he was out of lane for a decent amount of time.
Yeah, I guess that's it. He just
running back and forth, buying items, and going bot lane that one time.
They're like, he lane swapped to being a jungler by roaming a lot. That's the Gnar steal.
Yeah. Should be the better Gnar, but he's up against a Rakan at the same time. The better Gnar ult throws him into the wall, and Faker says, this is why I pick Sylas, guys. You're not going to enjoy this fight. Gets the slow on a Zeus. There's the block from Delight, but he might be in trouble now as the smite comes down. Oh, the boomerang nearly gets him.
Minions?
Wukong? He was trying to TP away. I think he should be able to. I think he's got the time. Yeah, there he goes. And a slick play by Faker to get away, but has to expend his TP to do it.
Yeah, flash down as well. That was a very risky scenario for both sides. Look for a moment like Faker might have misjudged.
Okay, well now he's going to have to go between worlds, but you can see the Doran able to pull him back for a moment. And really exerting that pressure on the Cassante.
And he's like, I've played against Keen enough times. I know how this works. And ends up handling it pretty well. We'll see a push out of the top lane. And we kind of reset to this point where the Herald spawns, and FaZe still has flash. Faker does not. And they have Prio. Scary thing is this Aphelios, it just does so much consistent damage. They have to lock him down. Faker has the ability to peel and or engage with this Rakan ultimate now. And I kind of just don't see a way in for Hanwha Esports. Zeus doesn't have TP either, even though his Gnar was set. We can't join, and I think this should be relatively free. And you see Guma is backing. They're just simply not going to contest, and I think it's the right choice. We have to keep asking the question, though, when will Hanwha Esports be able to punish? When will they be able to set up this engage? They had to opt out this time around.
Yeah, that is a good question. Another question I have is, when is Faker going to complete his quest? Still doesn't have the tier 3 boots.
It's a little bit tougher for Sylas to hit the enemy mid laner when he's not in the mid lane. And
he could go mid, but we've kind of entered an awkward state where he got it late, and now he wants to be in a side lane, but I would assume he also wants to complete that quest. So we'll have to wait and see.
Maybe it was like the one teleport snafu where he had to like go back twice that actually messed up his quest timing, and now he's just kind of locked out of it. Super bizarre. Well, he's gonna wish he had those cooldown boots, and obviously his empowered recall. He will not for a little while.
Maybe he's delaying the empowered recall so he can use it at a better time.
Oh my god, that would be such a Faker thing to do. Just like how he delayed his use of the Rakan ultimate here to make sure he could clear those minions a little bit faster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
that's a plate.
There he goes.
Go. All he needed was one more plate. See, he used the Rakan ultimate perfectly there.
And now he's ready to have his empowered recall right after this dragon fight. It's perfect.
My god, Valdez, he's genius. This guy's pretty good. Cerebral player, some would say.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, this dragon doesn't spawn for 40 more seconds. And this hijack is going to be up.
Well, he might be backing sooner rather than later. Faker in a lot of trouble here, actually. The Ignite doing so much work, and just straight up a solo kill. Zeka takes him down. Owner takes an opportunity to go mid and try to take down this turret with the Rift Herald. Should be able to do so. And actually trying to run it into the second turret here. Keria going even deeper. There he goes. There's the knockback, but at the end of the day, with the wild growth, I think it should be okay. Still does have to flash, but I suppose worth with all that extra money.
Yeah, I mean, that's a lot of money he picks up. Doesn't have to flash, but they end up taking that first turret out so quickly to save the charge. Now the dragon is spawned, though, and their support doesn't have his ult or his flash. Or his heal, but, you know, whatever. You know, that's relatively useful. Doesn't have anything, and now Hanwha Esports are looking for a contest. Owner's going in.
Yeah, he's just going in. I mean, he's got everything. He's got his flash, his ult available. He's the same level as Faker. So they're going to exhaust him and try to get into that circle, which Wukong can easily do, as does Rakan, and Zeka gets in there as well, does the damage. We got the Between Worlds stolen, and Delight might be in a bit of trouble here, as down he will go.
See if Faker can try to cut off their retreat. Oh, does not hit the chains. Still has that ult.
To throw this ult in, there it is. And he is just going assassination mode, but unfortunately disengaged Cone. As now we have TP coming in, and Kanavi trying to punish him as the Gnar is not quite ready. Faker has to flash out of this one. The Gnar almost there, but now Pei's going man mode as nobody is able to get onto that backline. Faker's going back in, and now Doran's able to join as well. Zeus low, as is Kanavi. They want to try to take them down. The chains once again not going to land.
This fight was actually so difficult to pilot for T1. But they turned it into such a scrappy fight. The Hanwha Esports could not group and get anything done, and you could really feel the difference, obviously, in terms of damage output. Zeus.
I think Owner eventually just, yeah. He'll just get him here. Oh, little sidestep. Did a good job of dodging basically everything, but it did not matter. Faker still get the dragon.
Doesn't get the kill, but ultimately doesn't really matter that much in the grand scheme of things, but I'm going to go all the way back to this solo kill here onto Faker from Zeka. He made a funny sound when he killed him. Like he didn't want to do it.
I was trying to decipher what he meant by that.
What did he mean by that?
Yeah, I don't know.
I think he was just telling people they didn't need to commit to a TP or something like that. Is probably what he sounded like. He said maybe no.
Yeah.
Anyways, Owner is really tanky, right? And this fight gets really split up. Guma does not have the same damage output as Pei's, so it's a massive ultimate. Even though it doesn't execute anyone, everyone's health bars get a little bit dented, right? Delight here tries to escape, gets taken up by Faker, doesn't ult until the last possible second. And all the while, you know, he pushes out Guma, no longer a threat. He's still Silas in a scrappy fight. He kites back here. TP comes in from the Gnar, but there's no Gnar bar set. And watch Pei's just take out half his health bar during the polymorph, then turn his attention to Zeka as Doran gets into the backline, finishes off that backline threat of Guma, the Ziggs, and like there was just never really any setup for HLE. They just kind of trickled in one by one piecemeal into the meat grinder that was Pei's, and then eventually Doran was like, well, I guess Ziggs is also dead. And they end up winning the fight, taking out the dragon, putting themselves on Mountain Soul Point here with a Cassante, a Xinjiao, and a Silas. Not to mention a Lulu to make it even more annoying.
Yeah, trying to just continue scrapping as Zeus. I think he got a good taste of that in the last team fight, which the action continued on for very long.
The thing about the comp here for Hanwha Esports is you don't want to be going in one by one and looking for a finish of the target, right? You want to be able to kill Aphelios instantly, and the fight is won in that moment. That's it. You win the fight, you do that. Obviously, there'll have to be some kite back for Guma. We'll need to continue to do damage because there's a lot of threats for him. But if the Aphelios is like taking half of your Gnar's health bar out because he teleports in at a kind of awkward angle and can't reach him, you're not going to win those fights.
I think
catching
Faker's
Faker in the side would be huge.
He's trying to steal the Between Worlds. Meanwhile, Zeus is just dead, and Faker actually got away with the Aurora ult, so that's going to be a trade up here for T1, who now have a 5,000 gold lead, and they're just going to set their sights on the Baron.
And Faker's in TP mid, look for Guma.
Yeah, he's got the satchel this time, but Faker's able to get on the right side of that. Now he just wants to get away from Kanavi.
And they're just going to keep them away from the Baron. Red-white for Pei's means this Baron goes down so quick.
Yeah, I don't think there's any way. I mean, Kanavi's trying to run over. At this point, they're trying to burst down Faker, who is this tankier Silas, who's quite fed, and that's just the Baron given over to T1.
I wouldn't put that in the T1 Baron column, but it was fairly close. They see an angle, they see a window, they've got the right gun set up for Pei's, they take it out. Hanwha Esports trying to trade back a turret. but it doesn't look like they're necessarily even going to get that. The satchel's been changed.
Owner's going in, and there's really no recourse for this. The satchel does come out, but unfortunately that's going to leave Kanavi to the Wolves as in goes Faker and does the burst damage. I think they're just way too far ahead at this point. The chain's once again going to miss, but Faker will not be stopped. Does get denied the quadra, but does pick up the triple. As Owner, man, he's getting so much aggro from the guys on HLE, but he just rarely goes down.
Yeah, he just absorbs it, takes it like a champ, and it's only 3 kills for Pays in this game, but his damage output has been so insane in some of these scrappy fights. And now Zeus.
We got better Gnar ults coming on in, but Faker pretty low, and it looks like maybe not gonna go for it. Although Faker has been going insane. Kingslayer comes in. Zeus is getting low. The chains are going to connect as might just have the Gnar ultimate into the wall, into the turret. Delight super low, and the auto from Carrier gets it done. He flashes forward. The bloodthirsty support trying to get another one, but he will not be able to. T1 having a bit of fun with their food at this point.
Yeah, this is definitely becoming a very one-sided affair very quickly as Pays kind of baiting them in. He does die.
Dead. Kanavi looking for a bit more over the wall. They are going to get Carrier. As Ingo Zeka as well, but yeah, I suppose just getting the scraps at the end.
Pays was almost able to turn that into something. Does have to use his flash and still dies, so not ideal, but it's really just a drop in the bucket of the deficit now. Can't satchel the turret until it goes to its final plate, if I'm not mistaken, on this patch, so they can't get the turret as quickly as they would have normally. And then, yeah, he is just going sicko mode in this fight. So difficult to kill, so tanky. And then he just is able to catch them before they can take the turret out. And then best friend Carrier coming in. Speaking of best friend Carrier, he's going to have a lot of fun in this replay as well. Oh, this is not quite the replay I thought it was.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know.
No. So I was thinking about the replay where he helps Faker with the Gnar ultimate and all that. With the
too much action. Too much action, too many replays. We don't even know which one it is. And Faker gets a kill as we're in a replay. He's looking for more. I feel like he's throwing so many chains, and I see most of them miss, but sometimes he just gets in there and blows up your entire health bar instead.
Well, that's an inhibitor going down. And Zeus is trying to get some bounty gold on the top side. We'll see a TP from Faker to shut that down. They're not going to go for the bottom turret there as the Baron fades away. And we'll just reset and look for Dragon. Owner is level 16. Can go over the wall here. There's just no way anyone can get anywhere near this Dragon. They have no vision either. I mean, Kanavi's going to come over here and see what he could do. He doesn't have flash. And I think this is just Mountain Soul to T1 for free.
Yeah, look at Doran's positioning as well. Just the threat of that. And now Faker from the top rope is looking to come on in as trying to get on top of Guma here, but he's able to satchel away. Faker, though, able to steal the Between Worlds, does an immense amount of damage, finds Zeus on the top side on top of it all, and Kanavi essentially just the sacrifice as this engage cone does get Zeus to safety. It's only a matter of time until T1 end this game.
It might be a very short amount of time, in fact, Valdez, as they have this super minion wave here. Shirelia's out. They're looking to end it right now.
I think they should be able to. Zeus, Gnar, and the gigantic Aphelios ult on top of 3. And it's still Faker that gets 2 kills somehow. As now he's diving the fountain. I'm sure he's giggling the entire time. And they have a little bit of a wave, but it did just get cleared out. Doesn't seem to matter. As very much having fun with their food and playing with it. But they will take down the Nexus here. As Owner looking for a bit more, wants that damage number to look even better. And same thing for Pays as they are just in it. Zeus, though, wants to get a kill. He's not going to be able to. As Pays picks up the double, and that will do it. T1 have their fun, and they will also have their Game 3.
All right, bringing us to a Game 3, a full series here.